Hi, this is Seti, and today's video is about the so-called low-end Maxell UR cassettes. These guys, you guys seen them probably still being sold in stores, and in fact, I actually purchased this one not that long ago down the street of my local Walgreens, which if you guys are not in the US, or even Canada, I think Canada may have them. This is a local, Walgreens is a local drugstore. Now, I actually had made a photo when there was this, your before and after picture, the 2008 and 2018 challenge. And just as a joke, I did it with these two because as you can see, they look the same. This one is actually, if you didn't guess, was probably bought in around 2008, but in reality, they made this version starting in 2002 to 2005, but of course you can still buy them up to 2008. These are still sold now, and from what I heard, may not be for any longer because the supplier of or the manufacturer of the actual tape itself that Maxell has been using for this is shutting down. So who knows for how long we're going to have these left as well. As you can see, they're very similar though. The outer wrapping is the same. The hubs are the same, although the older one has obviously darkened with age and probably due to sunlight, exposure and whatnot. But the only other difference that I see, and you may see, is that on the left side this says UR normal position, and on the right one there isn't. It just says 90, which indicates the length of the tape. Around back it's mostly the same. Even the UPC is the same. The barcode hasn't changed. It's the same number. However, if you look down on the bottom left corner, this one, the old one, was made in Korea or assembled in Korea with Japanese and US components. Here, this one is assembled in Indonesia. Because this was assembled in Korea with Japanese and US components, don't know if this is SKC tape, which is Korean tape, or if it, if they're still using Japanese tape at this point. Indonesia, I don't recall what company was, like who makes the tape in Indonesia. Was it Saehan? I think Saehan is Korean though. So you know what? Somebody will probably correct that in the comments. But the reason why I'm making this video is I want to compare these two, and I'm gonna open one up. Now I'm not gonna open up this newer one because I already have one open. And now here it is. As you can see, the UR normal position type 1 is on the right side, whereas this one's on the left, and it doesn't say type 1 on there. So they kind of swap places. Now, does this one have the 90 on the right side? Probably. Well, we're going to find out right now in another unwrapping video. Okay. Wow, there's more differences. So great for everyday recording. Oops, sorry. Camera view. Great for everyday recording, says this one here. And this one just does not have it. Is it in focus? I'm hoping it's in focus. And the fonts are a little different too. J card looks the same. And maybe I just realized it's darker because the shell is darker. I just Didn't notice that. Oh, wow. Never mind. I can tell that this has already been exposed to sunlight because huge difference in the color of the labels. I hope tape is still good though, but we're gonna find out. You can even tell that this one, the brightness is not this, is darker than this one, but it feels the same, the J cards. They look the same. So again, this one is a slightly yellower than this one for some reason, even on the outside. Now, maybe it's just the way it is because there's no way sunlight was shining to this side of the J card because of the full body wrapper. Something must have happened here. Well, today we're gonna find out anyways, because I'm going to make a mixtape for 2 people. They're gonna be at the same content, and I figured this is a good time to record on 2 different Maxell UR 90s just to see how they sound. But of course I can't do that in front of the camera because of copyright issues. So what I'm going to do instead is just at least show you guys how it biases. Oh, here's another good view, I guess. The top one is the older one. Newer is on the bottom. You can see, if you can get it to focus. Pads are a little different. This one, the older one, has the blue arrows and a black line, and the bottom one, which is the newer one, has the green arrows. I can't tell. Yeah, well, no, actually, is this green or blue? Nope, it's also blue. There's a yellowish, slightly yellowish tinge to the white background, which is odd. But it's also a black bar as well. Ooh, and the tape. And let's take a look at the tape pack. The actual tape itself. They're both very similar. They're both very dark brown. So it's not, that could be very good tape after all, because as we all know, just the brown ferric are your standard typical ferric, and maybe these are cobalt doped a little bit. I don't know. Calendared very well on both sides. The bottom one has a little bit of hub imprints from just storage, I guess. The bottom one being the newest one, of course. So, oops, keep knocking things over. Again, not a pro. All right, let's bias this up. Right, today I'm going to be using the JVC TD V661. All right, so this one is the older one. I'm going to fast forward this a little bit. 2002 to 2005, according to Vintage Cassettes. Right now they are centered. I'm going to remove Dolby for now. It's blank right now, so let's see if I can hear the hiss. Let me switch over to it. Ah, there it is. All right, so let's calibrate. All right, so the level seems to be dead on. Didn't have to change that, but the bias needs more negative biasing. As soon as I did that, see. Looks like the level, recording level went up a little bit, so I'll bring that slight. But here's the thing though, it's all the way down to the left, and it still can't bias to this, and that's the older tape. All right, well, let's leave the settings as is, and we will test the new tape. And just for reference, this is where the positioning of those knobs are for the old one, 2002. All right, so here's the new one. I'm going to fast forward this a little bit just so we can get further along in the tape, and then let's listen to the hiss. Pretty similar. Alright, so I left the bias of the old one intact. I didn't change that. And we're going to do... Okay, it's actually almost the same. The bias is kind of needing a little more negative, going to the left again, to stabilize that, but otherwise they're almost the same. So there you have it. And if you're interested in this kind of video, like and subscribe. Until next time, guys. Toodaloo.